All rise. District Court's now in session. Honorable Stephen Boyce, Judge presiding.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are going on the record. Court reporter, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is case CR. The matter before the court today is for a verdict in the jury trial that's been conducted over the last several weeks in this case. The court will note on the record prosecution is...
Everyone and welcome. I'm Tramai.
I'm Emily Pritchard. That jury deliberated for less than 1 day before reaching this verdict. You can see we are looking live inside of that Idaho courtroom right now. Let's listen in.
Been advised that the jury has reached a verdict at this time. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Let's have the jurors brought in, please. While the jurors are being brought in, I'd like to indicate that this matter is being live streamed on the court's YouTube channel. In addition, the court's existing conduct order is in effect, and everyone needs to comply with that conduct order. This verdict has several counts. The court is going to require that all in attendance abstain from any sort of loud outbursts or sounds that could in any way affect the proceedings in this matter as the counts are read in the verdict. And I expect to maintain order and decorum as has been the case throughout this trial with those in attendance, so please keep that in mind once we get to this stage of these proceedings. So with that in mind, if the jurors are ready, they can be seated.
All rise, please. Jury's all present, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bailiff. Please be seated. All right, the court will note that we had alternate jurors that were excused upon deliberations, so now the remaining 12 jurors who have deliberated are here and appear to all be properly seated. Will counsel stipulate that the jury is all present and properly seated from the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Will the defense will stipulate?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, the court will inquire then from the jury, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yeah.
Very well. If you have the verdict form, I'd ask the bailiff bring that over here and we'll have it brought to the clerk to be read. All right, the court has reviewed the verdict form, find that it's been properly completed, signed and dated, so at this time I'll direct the clerk to please read the verdict into the record. The defendant would please rise.
In the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Fremont, State of Idaho plaintiff versus Lori Vallow, aka Lori Daybell, defendant, case number CR 22211624. Verdict. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 2. In regards to count 2 of the amended indictment, is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan? Answer, guilty. Question number 3. In regards to count 3 of the amended indictment, is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 4. In regards to count 4 of the amended indictment, is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Answer, guilty. Question number 5. In regards to count 5 of the amended indictment, is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Answer, guilty. Question number 6. In regards to count 7 of the amended indictment, is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of grand theft? Answer, guilty. Dated this 12th day of May, 2023, signed by the presiding officer.
All right, please be seated. Madam Clerk, thank you for reading the verdict into the record. At this time, let me just inquire of the jury, is this in fact your true and correct verdict?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Let me ask now from counsel, does the state wish to have the jury polled?
We do not, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the jury will be polled at this time. Madam Clerk, if you would please indicate only by juror numbers of each of the jurors if this is their true and correct verdict individually.
Juror number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 8, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 10, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 14, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 15, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 16, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court does find it's a unanimous verdict in this case, so I will direct the clerk to record the verdict into the record of this case. I'll now have a closing jury instruction for our jurors and also those alternate jurors that are in attendance today. You have now completed your duties as jurors in this case and are discharged with the sincere thanks of this court. question may arise as to whether.
All right, you have just been listening live right here in this Boise, Idaho courtroom where 7 men and 5 women reached a verdict of guilty. Lori Vallow Daybell found guilty on all 6 felony charges, most notably the charge of killing her 2 kids, JJ and Ty Lee, as well as conspiring to kill her husband's first wife, Tammy Daybell.
And we do know that this court case has been going on for 5 weeks now. The jury was handed this case yesterday, and they've been deliberating for less than a day now that they've reached that decision. And our Team 12's Erica Stapleton has been following this case for years. I believe Erica is on the phone with us right now, joining us for some reaction to what was decided in this Idaho courtroom. Erica, if you can hear us, just what's your reaction to this being a unanimous decision across the board, guilty on all counts?
Emily Tram, this said that the trial has been going on for 5 weeks, but as you said, this case is going on for years, the end of 2019. So it's been a ton of investigating, and for a lot of family members, it's been just a heartbreaking journey for them to this point. But I can only imagine how they're feeling, that all 6 counts Lori Vallow Daybell facing, found guilty on all of them, including the murder of her children. I would say that this is not surprising to me. I think, you're wondering what the jury might come back with, it was possible that perhaps they wouldn't have gone with the charge just because there were co-conspirators, brother Alex Cox and his husband Chad Daybell. At the time, Cox passed away before any charges filed the case. But, because Idaho only have, in order to be convicted of, guilt or found guilty of murder, you don't necessarily have to commit the crime, but you have to encourage it. And I believe what the jury found in this case after the prosecution presented, again, 5 evidence and testimony. And notably in this case, the defense presented no evidence, no testimony. We were expecting that this case would go on for potentially another month, but this was a quick trial and quick decision by this jury, deliberating for essentially 24 hours a day. They were quick to it, so I think it really latched on to a lot of problems during this case.
And we apologize to our viewers, too. I know it's a little bit difficult to hear Erica. In all transparency, she's off today, enjoying some time off. So she's calling from her hotel room. So that explains why it's a little hit and miss with her reception there. But again, just to go back to the fact, Erica, if you can still hear us, that the jury came back pretty much just hours, really, less than 24 hours after closing statements ended yesterday in that courtroom. I mean, were you surprised at all that, across the board, that this came back guilty on all 6 felony counts?
Hey guys, apologies for some audio issues, but no, to answer your question, I was not surprised. As I said, this was a huge charge from the prosecution. Spent years preparing for this trial, and what jurors saw over the past 5 weeks included, unfortunately, really graphic photos of Tylee and JJ's burial sites in Chad Daybell's backyard in Idaho. There were details of their autopsy, details talking dark Wednesday disbeliefs that were at the core of this case that were talked and tracked by Lori and Chad and her brother and people in the circle. And, as heard in the closing argument yesterday, it didn't have to happen. And saying that no matter,
I believe we might have lost Erica there as we're dealing with a few of those technical issues. But if you are just joining us here as we near the 12:15 mark on our afternoon this Friday, we do want to let you know that we are following the Lori Vallow guilty verdict on all counts out of an Idaho courtroom. You're looking at some photographs of all the players involved here. Chad Daybell on the left.
Laid out time.
Lori Vallow Daybell on the right there, as we're still hearing a little bit of Erica's audio coming through. But we do know she has been found guilty by an Idaho jury on all 6 counts connected to the deaths and the murders of her 2 children, Tylee and JJ. JJ, 7 years old at the time of his death. Tylee, 16 years old.
Yeah, their bodies were found after a months-long search. They were found on the property of Chad Daybell, Chad being Lori's 5th husband. Again, we will recap more of this story and the fact that Lori Vallow Daybell found guilty on all 6 felony charges. We'll have much more on this developing story coming up later in about the next cut-in about 10 minutes or so, and much more in-depth coverage coming up on 12 News at 1. We thank you so much for joining us. Now back to NBC News Daily.